So, first video in a while. Unfortunately, we've been locked in for 10 days. No COVID, touch wood, but I was in contact with somebody, so the sensible thing is to say stay in for 10 days, as you know, and that's the advice, so that's what we did, and it's all good though. So, this video is going to be slightly different to the normal videos I do because most of the videos I do are service related and information that not only is great for YouTube, but it's great for our clients as well. So if there's something that we're doing for somebody and there's a video relating to it, we stick a link on the end so they can see it. But we've nearly got 200 subscribers, and one of the clients of mine, or one of the subscribers who found the channel, then booked a call with us and I spoke to last week, said you should do some general update videos. You know, what's been going on the ground might help people as well. So that's a good idea. So basically, I wanted to talk today about what's been happening since the 1st of January. So of course, right, 1st of January, big day, lots of changes, and how that relates to what we've been doing on the ground. So let's talk about residencies first. Registering as resident within the withdrawal agreement. In a few more videos, in about a month's time, we're going to start talking about the visa application process once we know what's going on and the intricacies of doing it, because none have been done yet. So we know what's needed, but you know, proof's in the pudding when one gets done, isn't it? So anyway, talking about registering within the withdrawal agreement for people who are coming up sticks. People who have been living here in 2020 can prove that. You can still apply for residency if you haven't done. The availability of appointments is scarce to do it yourself here in Malaga anyway. But online, on the online platform Mercurio, which we use on behalf of clients, or clients if they've got a digital certificate can use themselves, the model X20 is still there and you can still make the application and they're still going in. All right, so obviously if you can prove that you had everything in place in 2020, so you know, your healthcare, proof that you were actually living here in Malaga, you know, they're very strict on that. In other places like Granada, they only ask for a padron, but here in Malaga, they ask for like 4 or 5 bits of proof, and proof that you got healthcare all in 2020, then you should be okay to make the application still. All right. We've made a few and we've had notifications back from the government that these they've gone into the government and to expect an answer hopefully within 90 days. If it's not answered within 90 days, then you can consider your application null and void basically, but that never happens. I haven't seen one case of that not happening. And also what we have seen is we've got some applications which have trailed at the end of October, beginning of November, which we weren't getting notifications back, and we were emailing like mad, like what's going on with this one, what's going on with this, and they seem to have a bit of a clear up at the back end, so suddenly they all start dropping in. So we've actually had all of our applications up to, I think it's about 1st December, come in with either a requirement, so asking for more stuff, or a resolution, a favourable resolution, which is good so the clients can move on to the next stage. Right, so they do seem to be cleaning up all the way up till the end of November, the beginning of December, and you can still make your application online as long as you qualify. Right. Appointments on the ground, well, we've had a really strange one because there hasn't been many appointments published at all for the last 3 weeks. So there was lots of appointments just past New Year seem to open up, and some crazy ones for like March in Estepona and places like that, and Marbella as well, some crazy ones, you know, in March, and suddenly everything seems to close down. And then this week it's opened back up again. So places like Fingerola only open for like 10 minutes and then they're just hammered and they close. They generally open up their week. People are on the computer, boom, 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 boom. There you go. All the appointments are booked and they're gone. And they opened up for the following week. And now in Malaga, after a couple of weeks closed, they've opened up yesterday and offered appointments for the following next 2 weeks, which includes evening appointments as well. So there's appointments in the afternoon. We generally do our pickup appointments if we can in the afternoon, evening, because there's less people and they normally let you all in at once, even if you've got appointments with a family spread over an hour, you know. So it's a good top tip that if you can get an evening appointment, it's better than the morning ones, because in the morning ones you generally mix with more people as well. So that's good. So the appointments are running thick and fast. What we have had a problem with is the pickups. Now the pickups, because of the problems with just a simple overload in the system with the amount of applications, and B, the snow in Madrid, has caused a supply chain problem. And people who live in other areas of Spain will be able to tell me if this is the same where they are, but certainly here in Andalusia, and here more so in Malaga, where there's the biggest density of expats, nobody's been able to pick up their cards. They're taking 2 months to come through. So, for example, Malaga now are at 79, at Lottie 79 from 2020. That's the number they give you. That's like a serial number to say when you can pick it up. And that corresponds to appointments that we did at the beginning of December. So yeah, 2 months they're taking to come through. We used to book our appointments, to be safe, 6 weeks after the first appointment. Now protocol says 2 months. That said, yesterday we did some appointments in Marbella and they're still saying 45 days. So I'm assuming that they're assuming now there's going to be a catch up and the cars will be there. So yeah, if you have had an appointment, then really you want to check with your station to see if the card's there. We've had to put back a lot of appointments because the cars just simply weren't there on time. So that's what's been happening with the card pickups. And now what I wanted to talk about a little bit was the cars, because now obviously 1st of January, we're not in the withdrawal agreement. How does that affect registering your car in Spain? Well, so far, I'm talking about Andalusia. Here in Andalusia, as we know, there's two things that can really be affected by a vehicle being coming from a third country. The first one is the ITV. Okay, there's stricter requirements for vehicles coming in from a third country through the ITV. Okay, there's strict paperwork. They often ask for things like individual conformity. If it's from other countries with agreements, they'll ask for what they call an acta reglamentaria, which proves that the car meets the reglamentarios rules here in Spain. So it's not as simple as a vehicle from the EU comes from the EU to the EU, has type approval, which is very important, and they use a certificate of conformity or ficha técnica in Spain. No. Even if a vehicle has type approval and it comes from a third country, there's extra documentation. Okay. Now, in Andalusia, as it stands of today, all right, we're in a good place because the ITV stations are requesting that as long as a vehicle was registered in the UK before the 31st of December, and it has got EU type approval, which is both figures on the logbook and on the manufacturer's sticker, then to pass the ITV test, there's no further requirements. Okay, I can tell you in other parts of Spain it's different. I know, for example, in Valencia, I've got a client up there who took a bike and they went, no, now you need an individual conformity for this vehicle because it comes from a third country. And it was like it was registered in the UK before it was a third country. Argument, but they wouldn't have it. As far as they're concerned, that's it. It's going to be an individual conformity certificate can cost anything from €1,500 to like €1,800. So, but here, as it stands, and I've been severely warned by the technicians, this could change at any point. Vehicles that go through the ITV haven't changed. So, what about the second point, which is import tax? Well, very interesting. The DGT issued this notification on the this one here on the 7th of January, and it basically states that obviously there's a part here for UK vehicles. It states that obviously during the withdrawal agreement nothing changed, but now in relation to the agreement on the 25th of December, all vehicles, you have to excuse my translations, I didn't prepare it, so I'm just translating in my head and saying it directly. All mercancías, everything that comes into Spain won't have to pay quotes for duty and tax, but will have to pass through customs and excise formalities. All right, and that means they have to get a document called a DUA. So this is as well for vehicles which are already here in Spain. So imagine you've got a vehicle and you haven't registered it yet, and you now want to register it, and it's here in Spain anyway. It will still have to go through customs. Okay, so the reason it goes through customs is to get this document, which is called Documento Único Aduanero DUA. Right. This document is what we use then at Trafico to prove that the taxes have been paid, or in this case, it's been through customs and excise, the taxes haven't been paid. All right. Now, the strange thing is, and I'm going to be honest, we haven't done one yet, is our import agent said, no, unless it's for change of residence, which I'll come on to now, then you have to pay the 21%. And I said, well, according to this, you don't. According to everything I read on the internet, you don't. Then I've heard stories on Facebook where there's lorries parked up with cars and they're asking them for 21% on each vehicle to give them the DUA document. So I don't really know how this is going to play out. You know, it's there in black and white from the DGT. But obviously the DGT aren't in charge of taxes. They just want to see the DUA. They don't care. They don't care if you pay the taxes, you don't pay the taxes, whatever. All they want is a document that proves it's been through customs to complete whatever they need to complete, which is registering the vehicle. So we're going to bring in more updates on that because we haven't had any go through. I'm currently in negotiations with our customs agent because it's always best to use an agent. Don't go to customs yourself. They're the specialists. They know what they're doing. You drive to them. They do the paperwork. You pay them their fee. They give you the DUA back. Job done. So that's it. That's going to definitely have more information on that next month. In my view, you don't have to pay it. Moving on to change of residence, when you're registering a vehicle, it's always been the same that with a change of residence, you can waive the special registrations tax. If you're a third country national, then you can also waive import duty and import tax, the VAT, right? That's always been the same. That hasn't changed. And for the likes of thousands of Brits who have just registered a residence during the withdrawal agreement, that is the same. Okay, you definitely don't have to pay your tax because you are moving your personal artifacts to a new country, and that's always been the same for third country nationals and Europeans alike. But obviously there's a series of requirements and documents that you have to provide to prove that to both the import agencies, customs, and the taxman when you come to waiver the special registrations tax. So that's it. That's a bit of an update on what's happening, and I will be doing some more service related videos very soon. And I've got a bet with my 7-year-old son that I can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you do have anybody that you think would be interested in our channel, we are going to be doing more updates